So good morning everybody. This is kind of a before the video disclaimer. I just watched the video that I'm getting ready to show you guys, and it is not my best work at all. It was a lot of jumping around from animal to animal, and I just want to apologize right from the beginning that I realized that this is not the best camera situation going on, and we will improve as we go. So I apologize ahead of time, and I hope you guys will still stick around and watch this video. And so let's get to it. Good morning everybody, and welcome to my channel and welcome to my farm. If you're new here, my name is Jamie, and I hope that you'll join me today. We're going to do some farm chores, feed everybody this morning, and talk about some plans for the spring. So give me just a second, let me feed these guys and we'll be right back to it. Hey girls, here you go. Okay, one set down. Now, let me show you the goats. Here's two of my 5 goat girls. Okay, so for the goats, we are not doing anything new for them this spring. We ended up not breeding them. Typically, we like to breed them in October, which means their babies come in March. But this year, we had one of our girls get a bit of a respiratory infection, and so we had to vet out, and we were busy dealing with that and with you know, getting this new farm ready versus the old one. We didn't get the males moved over in time, and so we're just gonna let those girls have a break this year. I wasn't planning on milking this year anyway, so you see Littlefoot running? So we're just not going to breed them. Alright, so my rabbit girls, they're not in breeding right now because I don't like to have babies in the winter. I find that a lot of times we lose the girls. So these guys will start breeding probably in mid-February. I'll start putting them together because they're pregnant for just under 30 days. And that means they'll start having babies in March. And here in March, it's plenty warm. So that's the plan for these guys. Hi, sweet girl. Hey, sweet girl. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning, love. This is Gray Man. He's one of my bucks. He's also my baby, aren't you? Are you my baby? He's a sweet boy. I think he would be a lap bunny if I'd let him. He's spoiled rotten. Aren't you? You've about eaten all of your hay, huh? Good job. Good job. Come on, girl. So here you see my cows. The black one was born spring of last year, and the other one is 2 years old. We are eventually going to breed them. Obviously not this year, but maybe in a year or two we're going to breed both of these girls and have some more cows here on the farm. But right now, let's go check for some chicken eggs. So we do keep chickens in our cow pasture, and the reason why is because they tear up all of the cow poop So instead of having a pasture that is littered with cow pies, it's all nice and composted in, and it just disappears. Now, let's go. Let me grab this bucket. And here is where the chickens are currently staying, but this is only temporary. I do love this igloo. I think everybody should own one. But my purpose for this is when I get new chicken babies in the spring, once they're old enough to be out of the brooder and outside, I'm going to raise them in here, because this way I can move them around. It's on wheels. And I can pick this up even with my bad back, because you hit this and it lifts up, and then you just grab those things and pull. And I can move it all around the yard, and the baby chicks will be safe from predators. And they also have a way to get up here at night and learn how to roost in a coop. But let's see if they gave us any eggs. Oh, look at there, we have 4. Okay, so now last but not least, the sheep. And they seem to be the favorite one on the farm, because whenever I post anything about the sheep, that's what everybody seems to look at. But I don't blame you, because they're kind of my favorites too. They're pretty cool. These are called Katahdin sheep. They are haired, which means that they lose their hair like a donkey. They get a thick winter coat, and then they lose it in the spring all on their own. So we don't have to do anything with that, and that's nice. Now, these are our newest addition on the farm. We just got them a couple of months ago. Excuse you, I'm speaking. And they should all be bred, which is both a blessing and a curse. Let me get inside this gate and we'll talk some more. All right, let's go for breakfast. Walk, baby. Okay, so like I said, all of these guys got here a couple of months ago, and they have all most likely been bred by this guy right here. And unfortunately, if he got them, hang on, let me, time out. We got water in the thingy. Okay, so like I was saying, we got these guys already together, and so they are probably already bred, which is not my ideal situation. While I do want lambs in the spring, I prefer to have them in the spring. And unfortunately, these guys were put together in such a way that if he got any of them the first month they were together, we can have lambs as early as February, which here is still pretty cold. So that's not the ideal situation, but it'll be okay. We will keep an eye on them and watch for any babies and intervene if we need to, if they wait for the cold night. And in my experience with every animal, it seems they wait till the absolute coldest, wettest, nastiest night, and that's when they decide to deliver their babies. So, you know, it is what it is, and we'll just deal with whatever we need to deal with. Okay, so now we have all of the animals taken care of. I didn't take you guys into the chickens or the turkeys because it's really muddy. We had a lot of rain, and trying to get in there with 2 buckets and with the camera seemed a little sketchy, so I'll show you them another time. But since we are talking about spring, we obviously have to talk about the garden. So here is my garden. Well, what will be the garden. It is, well, the front half is 100 feet by 30 feet wide, and then behind that we have another 100 feet that is going to have raised beds. I have 2 built so far, and we have the wood already cut and the metal already cut for the others to give me a total of 6. And the main reason why I'm doing raised beds is because this property, while it is beautiful and it does grow things amazingly, it also has a massive fire ant problem. I believe this entire property is one big huge anthill. So when I planted my garden, all of my root crops got completely annihilated by ants. When we went to dig them up, everything was tunneled through, and it was completely ruined. So this year I'm planning to put all of my root vegetables exclusively in the raised beds to see if that helps. But so far I have this completely tilled up, and I was going to wrap it. We have these amazing billboard tarps that you can see right here because my husband retired from the billboard industry. And so that's what we were going to use as a free silage type tarp, which basically covers the ground and keeps anything from growing. But it would have taken so many. We laid this one out right here, and I don't know, in my mind, I'm horrible at numbers. I have no spatial awareness at all. And so I had my son come over and I said, we're just gonna spread these out. And we put the first one out and it didn't even cover a fourth. And I was like, yeah, no, just forget it. Just forget it. We will till it in again if we need to. I know a lot of people are into no-till gardens, and I'm hoping one day this might be, but we are actually trying to garden in what was once a hayfield. And last year I tilled it up beautifully and I tried to stay on it, and the grass just took over. I mean, it was sad. It was sad how fast this thing turned right back into pasture. So we bought a new tiller. That was a little hand tiller. It wasn't like the real deal. So my husband bought me a real tiller to go behind the tractor. And so this thing is tilled. I mean, if you walk in here now, it's so fluffy, you would actually sink up to your calves because it's that deep. So I'm hoping that I got all of the well, see, this is coastal Bermuda hay, and it grows in strips, like under the ground, and then comes back up somewhere else. So even if you till an area down under the ground, the roots are still there from plants that are way across the pasture. So it's kind of impossible to deal with. But I'm hoping that this time I tilled it down enough that I got all of those I'm sure there's a word for it, but you know, the connecting roots that will shoot up more grass. But we'll find out together this year. But anyway, so this is all tilled up, but I do need to amend it a little bit. So in mid-February, I've already ordered 8 cubic yards of compost that's going to be brought here. And so I'm going to spread that out. I'm also going to put down a lot of weed barrier in all of the walkways, so I don't have a lot of space to worry about. It's going to help make it easier. But the one thing I am most excited about is my new greenhouse. And this thing, it's an interesting story. About 3 years ago, my husband found this greenhouse on Craigslist for $80. And it was ugly. It had been grown up in woods in someone's backyard. He had to actually dig it out to bring it home. And I pressure washed it as best I could. And I did grow in it for 2 summers. Last summer was the second summer. And the plants did okay, but they were pretty leggy. And so when I moved them out into the garden, a lot of them struggled. And so I told my husband, I said, we can't do this again. So he ripped all of that old siding off and put brand new clear siding in. And I'll show you some pictures right here of how that went. So anyway, I'm super excited about this greenhouse, and I'll walk you over and show you the inside. Now, excuse this mess. This was all of the stuff, well, these were all inside of it, and these were stacked up like that one over on this side of the greenhouse, and we had to pull that down so we could work. But this is my new improved greenhouse. We also put a floor in it, which we should have done last year, but we were in kind of a hurry because the season had already started when we got it moved over. So I'm sure you saw in the pictures how grown up this thing was. But now it has a nice floor. And let's see, it's 40 degrees out here today. And this building, oh, it's not doing that good. This building is 50, but of course the sun is just now coming up. But hopefully that means it didn't lose that much last night. But I do have, turn slowly, I do have a heater right here. I have 2 of these. I used it last year when this building was green and it kept it above freezing. You wouldn't want to put peppers or anything out here, but the majority of other crops do just fine as long as they stay above freezing. So if that works okay this time around, I should be able to get some stuff out here in early March, I think is when I'll start using this. And I know it's crazy to think about gardening in January, but we're on the last week, or almost the last week of January. This weekend's my birthday. Yay, happy birthday to me. But then this was my birthday present from my husband, which is why I said that. But we are in zone 8, and we are more coastal. And our first frost date will allow me to start planting a lot of my seeds the week of February 14th, Valentine's Day. So I won't be planting them in here because this will still get too cold at night. But in the barn, I have a grow room that's heated, and that's where I'm going to be starting my plants. So stick around, we'll do that together that week. But anyway, as you can see, we have a lot of exciting things getting ready to happen. You know, we've got the plants we're getting ready to start. We have lamb watch starting next month. So a lot of exciting things to happen, and I appreciate you walking around with me today. I know this has been kind of a jump from one thing to the other, but I'm still getting used to YouTubing again, and YouTubing, holding a camera while holding feed buckets and feeding animals is going to take a bit of a learning curve. But I wanted to go ahead and do this video with you guys today because today I'm having a good back day and I'm not using a cane. So I figured without a cane, I could hold a camera. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tour of the farm. I promise it's gonna get better. I just have to get back into the habit of YouTubing and holding a camera. So I apologize that this is not up to par with a lot of the videos I know you guys are watching. But we'll get it, we'll learn. But I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me today and doing my animals with me. And if you have any questions, or gosh, please, if you have any suggestions of things that you would like to see in future videos, please put that down in the bottom. And just say hi. Say hi to me. I would love to get to know you guys better. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will see you again next week. Bye.